flight concluded.
What's up guys, Shawnee Dogs here, and on this last day, at least for the week, for this Call of Duty World War II Multiplayer Beta, it had its ups and its downs, the pros and the cons. I will mainly be focusing on the cons, the things that need some work, some improvement, various glitches in the game, bugs, or just general things that need fixing. So it may sound like I'm complaining. That's not at all what I'm trying to accomplish with this video, because after all, it is just a beta. The reason that they have this thing out there is to fine-tune and make the necessary adjustments so that when the game is finally released and you get your hands on it, it is as close to perfect as possible. So feel free down in the comments below if I missed anything, if you saw some room for improvement in the game, or just some things that were broken that I did not talk about. Make sure to leave a comment down below. You could also just at them on Twitter. Glenn Schofield, Michael Condrey, Sledgehammer Games. They are very receptive to at least constructive feedback, and they're willing to listen to what you have to say. So the very first thing that I want to talk about, if you saw that clip that I just opened up with the M1911 pistol, it's absolutely filthy. In the actual launch of the game, obviously there's going to be more secondary weapons to choose from, but that 1911, I feel like it's just a little bit too strong. If you're sniping, your main liability is at close range, but if you have this pistol, it kills in 2 bullets. Now, it does fire pretty slow. I guess that was to try and balance it out, but I still think it kills way too fast. You can compete with the submachine guns with that pistol. I just think it needs a little bit of tweaking. Maybe make it a 3-shot kill, make it shoot a little faster, sort of like the EMC in Infinite Warfare. I just think a 2-shot pistol is a little overkill for a secondary weapon. Next up, something that is very closely related, something that I hold near and dear to my heart, the time to kill. When you're using some of the better guns, at least for this beta, like the PPSH, the STG-44, the WAF, these things can kill so quickly, it is ridiculous. If you're going up against good players, and this happened to me a few times, if you're in the middle of a sprint and someone starts shooting you head on, by the time that it takes you to aim in and shoot, you will have already died before you can fire even 1 bullet. It has to do with both the time to kill as well as the time that it takes for you to recover from both sprinting and walking to be able to aim and shoot your gun. I just think some of these stat lines need a little bit of fine-tuning to make the gunfights a little bit more fair and balanced and give you a chance even if you don't get the first shot on someone. Next up, I'll talk about a few of the glitches. If you guys watch Prestigious Key's videos, you'll know that the one that he posted about the shotgun, there was a moment in that video where there was a dead enemy and his body just ragdolled and stretched like 50 feet. Is crazy. Nothing major, but obviously you don't want to have that in the finished game. And something that I experienced less than an hour after playing the game, I was trying to level up my infantry division, because one of the skills that you get, it allows you to equip an extra attachment on your primary weapon. There's also a basic training that allows you to equip an extra lethal, and you can also equip a tactical. Now, when you first try to do these, you may have experienced this yourself. When it happened to me, I had no idea what was going on. I'm like, okay, how do I get this primary attachment on here? Because there was no like box where you go to put on your attachments. It just, that third one didn't exist. And the same thing happens when you try to equip that second lethal with that basic training perk. Now, the only way that I found to fix these is to go and switch to another perk or another division and then switch back, and sometimes it works and it gives you that attachment. Just something pointing out to Sledgehammer, it needs a little work under the hood. Also, while playing, I noticed that there was a medal that kept popping up. I don't know exactly what you need to get it. It's called like Veteran Scorer, but part of it says earn -1 score. So I don't exactly know what you need to do to get this medal, but I've gotten it quite a few times and don't know what the exact score requirement is because of this. Next up is something that's not really wrong with the game, but I have heard quite a few people talking about it, YouTubers included, and it's with the whole division and basic training setup. A lot of people don't like it. It doesn't really make sense. They're just sort of combining perks and telling you can't combine this with this. And I know for a fact that a majority of the people, at least that I've talked to, they would rather just see a pick 10 system. This whole divisions and basic training, because each division technically gives you 5 perks. They're not called perks, but they're basically your innate abilities, the traits that are added on when you pick that division. and the basic trainings give you 2 of these, you're very limited when it comes to customization. You only get 2 choices on these perks, and that's it. I understand that they're trying to be innovative, that's why they're divisions and no perks technically, but it's essentially the same thing. They're just combining a bunch of the perks and making it a little bit more confusing. If you have played previous Call of Duties, you're like, why can't I mix and match this? It would be so much better. And then there's the whole argument when you play a new Call of Duty, you see pretty much the exact same perks as the previous one, and they're under a different name. Why they do this, I don't know. Personally, I would love a pick 10 system, and I would love if they kept the same perk names in every Call of Duty, but it is what it is. I guess you can't get everything that you ask for, and if you've been paying close attention to this gameplay, when I got my paratroopers, I assume that when you call them in, it just puts them all over the map. I mean, on the previous maps, I didn't have any issues, but apparently when you throw them down, it only puts them in the exact location that you are standing. When I was in that cave, it was telling me you cannot put the paratroopers here, so I'm like, oh, okay. So whenever I press the actual score streak button to launch them, I have to be looking at a location outside. So I tried looking out of the cave door, and it still didn't let me put my paratroopers down. So they literally only come down right where you are standing. You can't actually send them off the same way that you would call in a GI unit from Black Ops 3 or an RC-8 from Infinite Warfare. You can't like pick a point to drop it on. It literally drops on top of you. I don't know if this game mechanic was intended. I don't think that it was, just based on how most score streaks work in Call of Duty, but that's how it's working in this beta currently. Another thing that you guys may have noticed, and I noticed this a lot when I was playing, right when the game ends, I've had like 4 different animations happen. Like when it shows the top 3, sometimes I've had none of the people actually show up. I've had 2 of them show up, all 3 of them show up. Sometimes they're not holding any guns. Sometimes I just like black screen at the end of the game and it just stays there until we're back in the lobby, and it doesn't show me the top 3 at all. There's just something going on with that, and it's not working how it's supposed to. At the end of this gameplay, you guys will see in the top 3, it only shows me. There's not 2 guys next to me. I don't know what's up. And before I mention what is perhaps the largest issue within this beta, I want to remind you guys, I really do enjoy the game, just Call of Duty in general, whether it's boots on the ground or jetpacking. I love the gameplay. I will always enjoy Call of Duty as long as they don't completely change the game. And I'm not trying to hate on the game. I'm merely suggesting things for improvement, trying to give the best feedback possible. So the elephant in the room, because there's no pick 10 system, everyone has grenades, and in this game, at least in this beta for now, they are absolutely wrecking everything. The percentage of kills that I get from grenades is absolutely ridiculous. I would compare them very closely to the grenades in COD 4. They're just so OP, you can't really dodge them. It's just, if someone's holding a grenade and it's already more than halfway cooked and you see them, you're probably going to die. Even the sticky grenades, which have a much shorter fuse time, they do still have a very large blast radius. I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, you could just use the blast shield perk, which by the way is only on 1 single division. But the main reason I'm pointing this out is that if you've been playing this beta, you know just how strong grenades are in this game. They're absolutely insane. You're going to die at least 3 to 4 times a game from them. And there's quite literally nothing you can do. Because this is a boots on the ground Call of Duty, mobility isn't exactly a factor. If someone wants to nade you, they are going to nade you. And that death right there on a 27 kill streak, by the way, pretty much sums up my experience with this beta. The game needs some tweaking. Sometimes the hit reg is way off. I've heard a lot of pros complaining about it. I've been watching a ton of gameplay. It just needs a little bit of work. The gunfights, something just seems off about them. Like some stats under the hood, like your sprint out time, how you aim in, the aim assist, something makes it feel weird. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is because there's so many factors that go into it, but it's definitely noticeable. And lastly, I'm super curious to know down in the comments, what do you guys think about the play of the game? Do you like it? Do you prefer the final kill cam? I personally think that the play of the game would be really cool if it showed like the most action-packed moment in the game, but I feel like the way, like the algorithm that it chooses this play of the game, that one's off as well, because there's some times where I've done some crazy stuff and someone gets play the game off of like a triple kill where the kills were pretty spread out. But anyways, that is going to wrap it up for this one. I will return to the daily IW uploads, but I will be playing this again next weekend and then it is gone forever. I'm still getting settled in. I will be streaming a lot more later in the week, but if you guys did enjoy, please be sure to drop a like, Comment down below with any thoughts or questions you may have. And as always, subscribe to the channel if you guys are brand new for some more great videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.